kind of started when we first opened up. The second and third floor were still cluttered with old things from Oppenheim's, and we'd go up there because we had heard and seen little things happen here and there. The gentleman that used to work up in that office drank Maker's Mark. And our bartenders noticed when we first opened that they would go down to restock Maker's Mark, and we always put the newest bottles in the back and push them forward, and for some reason every time they go down there the Maker's Mark was always pushed up and not pushed back, like, and wouldn't be moved every time they went down there.
That has happened to me where I had pulled, because I had heard about it, so I pulled all the bottles forward down in the basement, and I wanted to see if they moved. And I had pulled one case of liquor, I locked the door behind me, dropped it off up here, went directly back down the stairs, and thought, what the heck, I unlocked the door, and the bottle had moved back about 2 inches at that time. And so that was a little strange and a little odd for me to have that experience. The man upstairs has approached me, and that's been working up there, and we've seen him, and he's came right over to me and walked right up to me and looked directly at me. There's the one in the basement, I believe his name's called Elmer, and he's a practical joker, and we believe he's the one that likes to move the liquor bottles around on us. And now it's been that sometimes when he started doing this, we had a bartender that put him to the test, and he put like a little piece of paper wedged back behind the bottles, and he wanted to see if he moved them. Well, since then, the bottles haven't moved at all. Not a one, not one at all. And I took the wedge out of there, and the bottles still haven't moved until recently. About a month ago, they've started to move back again. And I just think Elmer didn't like being put to the test.
Then we would go up on the third floor and investigate. There'd be incidences where it'd be really cold in some spots, and Suzanne and I both experienced this, and other places it'd be warmer. One time I was up there, there's a window in the back, and I could see myself, my shadow, my legs walking here, and next to me was somebody else. I could see their shadow, but there was nobody up there with me, which was very freaky. I left right after that. Just weird feelings when you're on the elevator and you're going up there and the door's open. It just gives you, I don't know, I get goosebumps, and you just feel a presence of some sort. There for a while, I wouldn't go up there at all. There was a time we had some of Annette's friends in here that are clairvoyant, and they would walk up there and see what they could feel, and we were coming down on the elevator, and we got halfway down and it just stopped between the second and first floor and just shook for like, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, and then came down the first floor and opened up. They said it was just a ghost letting us know that they were there because we had just been up there walking around.
I was going to open up one day by myself for a breakfast party, and I just couldn't get myself to go to the basement. I'd been down there before when just 1 or 2 lights were on, and I was trying to adjust the stereo, and there just big bright light just came over from a corner in the basement, big bright light orb, and that was a little eerie, and since then I just really don't like to go down there without any lights on. One of the first stories that Kim didn't mention was Annette, Kim, and myself were up in the upstairs room up there, our private room up there, and we were talking, and all of a sudden the lights just started moving one at a time, and they all started moving all around. They're hanging lights. And we're up there, and I noticed them, and then they started watching them, and then all of a sudden one of them just tipped up like that real quick and real fast.
There's a blonde woman that walks along this balcony up here. I call her Annette because she looks just like her. I don't know if she takes on her shape, but she has blonde hair, and out of the corner of my eye, I just see her. She'll walk up there, and I'll think it's her, and I'll look up there, and you know, she's in the kitchen or downstairs. I've seen that ghost probably 3 or 4 times, and I don't believe anybody else here has, but there was a table over here one evening for dinner that I was sitting with, and they had never heard the story before, and I'd never told them. And they were sitting there, and they happened to look up there and say, "Oh, Annette's here tonight." And I said, "No, her and Greg have the night off, that's why I'm here." And they said, "Well, we just saw her walk by up there." So somebody else has seen that.
And I have seen lights coming from the ceiling with no lights on whatsoever, which have been 2 of them, and I just kind of felt that maybe it was that lady with the blue taffeta and her daughter. They kind of hang out together in another area in the front staircase here, and she moves around up there. She's been seen by some of the more clairvoyant people who are here. I feel as if there are children. I don't know if it goes to the diphtheria period or what has happened. Coming down from the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, the doors opened. I was with another gentleman, and we meant to come down to the main floor. In the 2nd floor, we hit by accident, and the doors open. It was pitch dark up there, and we heard children crying at that time up on that floor. What some of the people have said is that a lot of our ghosts date back to the diphtheria period. An orb will move around. They come in different sizes. I see them all over the restaurant all the time. Different people do as well. And it's usually when it's quiet sometimes when you see them, and it's of course dark, so you can see them move better. They come in different sizes. Some of them I've seen from this size all the way like to the one I seen in the basement was huge. It was humongous. But usually they're probably about this side, and they just move around. They just move around the building, down areas, through walls, and then there's little twinkles of light that you'll see sometimes too, just like they're twinkles, just like, you know, Tinkerbell, little twinkles of light.
We had some ghost people come in here and clairvoyant people that would go up there on the stairs and they could smell a cigar and smell bourbon. And that's kind of how it started. The door up there would open and shut by itself, which I have actually experienced when I've been up there, just for no reason. It just opens and shuts, there's nobody there. We've seen some orbs in that room, little glow things along the wall.
When we first opened up, there used to be dark shadows that you'd see all up through the upper level, always kind of looking as if they were looking down, and then about the time you look, they're gone. And when you folks came in earlier, like I said, sometimes I haven't seen them since a lot of activity and people have been in and looking to see what's going on around here. I think they've kind of backed off, but here recently they've started to come back around again. When you folks were setting up here, I'd just seen one that just walked and disappeared up in the upper level here. Oh, another time it was Mother's Day. And my fiance and his mother and stepfather, we came in for dinner, and they seen this as well. We went up to the area where Kim and I had seen the little run thing when we were up on that floor. And anyways, we were in the other bathroom, and it was pitch dark in there, and we watched and we followed the orb, and they become kind of like a really light pale green, and they'll move around, and all of us watched it as it moved up and down the walls, up and down around the ceiling, down around the floor, and back into a partition. And when Rick, my fiance, went out to touch it, his hand hit the partition and it disappeared at that time. And there were several people that had seen that one at that time. People that have never been in the restaurant before.
One day, Suzanne and I were up there investigating with a flashlight, and we were looking around at some of the writings on the walls, and there's pictures drawn up there on the poles. There's an old bathroom over in the corner, and we just went in there just to kind of look around, and we saw some writing on the walls that people might have done when they were in there. And there was a name on there that we thought was a name, and we were trying to make it out, and it was like Roy or Ron or Rob or something, and Suzanne was in front of me, and I was behind her, and she got really close, and she looked at it, and she said, "Oh my God, Kim says run," and she just turned around, and we started to run, and as I came out, she was in front of me, and I was trying to catch up with her. I had a big clip in my hair, and something pulled my hair back, and my clip came out, and we screamed, ran down the stairs, and I don't know if it was a ghost or my hair got caught on something. The ceilings are very high, so I would think not, but we've never been back up there, or I didn't go back up there for a long time after that.
Some of the ghosts date back to the building that was here prior to this building itself. That's when the horses were seen, and then when this building was rebuilt, there's a lot of them are here from that period too. So it's just not one building. From my understanding, it's the time prior to the building being built.
There was a room that was enclosed up there on the 3rd floor, I think, or maybe it was the 2nd floor, I can't remember. And when we cleaned the room up and tore out that wall, supposedly there was a ghost in there named Maud that was the laundry lady. That room was like her room. And this is a story I heard from Greg, the owner, that he had heard from one of the people that had come in here and investigated. There was one time Annette and I were up there, and Suzanne might have been too, I don't remember. I didn't actually go up there, but I did go up there when they were there. Had a book that they had found on the floor. It was a notebook type thing that had pictures drawn in it of like half of a face of a lady, and then you'd flip the page and then there'd be a different picture. Well, the same picture of that lady is up there on one of our poles. You can see the same picture that's on that notebook. Whatever happened to that, I don't know, but supposedly a ghost had said, pick it up.
The party upstairs I was setting up the bar upstairs for, and I came through the back door, which is our back staircase going from the kitchen up. I had the door come up behind me, and the door doesn't slam shut, it just kind of gives way a little bit. The door came right up behind me and it slammed shut, and then I heard it go whoop whoop. And then I felt the feeling of a presence following me all the way through the upper level till I got back up to the bar area back up here. And that was very eerie at the time.
We hear the lady in the blue dress, blue taffeta dress on the 2nd floor with her daughter. We can hear them sometimes when we go up there. Suzanne, I know, has a couple of stories of going up and hearing screaming and crying and stuff like that. We've gone up there and tried to make things happen, you know, hold hands and do stuff, and I think you just have to just be there at the right time for it to exist, so.